Hey, what's going on, O Nation? This your guy, Kelvin Hunt, editor of ChopChat.com. Welcome to the Bit for Playmakers YouTube channel, where we talk FSU sports all day, every day. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about FSU baseball. I know typically we talk about football for the most part, but we are moving into the spring season, and so baseball and softball is upon us. In this particular episode, we're going to talk about baseball. Before we get into that, though, I do want to pay my respects to the legend Mike Martin Sr. It was announced that he passed earlier on Thursday, and you know, I never met him. I've watched countless interviews. Always been a fan of FSU baseball since when I was playing college baseball in the late '90s into 2000. That was when FSU was, among the elite of the elites, and to just know all of the history of Mike Martin Sr. at FSU, um, you know, just all the accomplishments and man, not even. I mean, we could be here for hours talking about all the things that he accomplished, but I think what was probably most impressive was all the stories you heard about what type of man he was, the class that he personified. Um, I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say anything negative about Mike Martin Sr. And you know, and just knowing the amount of guys that he impacted over his career at FSU. I mean, you're talking about hundreds, if not thousands, of players. Yeah, you could say thousands because I mean, I'm sure there are players that were on other teams that probably looked up to Mike Martin Sr. Either he recruited them and they decided to go elsewhere or whatever. But it's kind of crazy that you would see other coaches almost defer to him because of what he meant to the game of college baseball. And it's just a sad day, man. And it's incredible to know that FSU had not only someone like Bobby Bowden, who is a legend in his own right, but they also had somebody like Mike Martin Sr. at the same time. I mean, I can't think of any other college program that has that. I mean, then you look at it, you got Leonard Hamilton there. I mean, you had Mark Krikorian, while he was a soccer. I mean, man, FSU just had some dudes as coaches, man. I mean, that's impressive. But as I tweeted this earlier, whenever you're talking about a coach and a player relationship, one of the best compliments that you can pay a player as a coach is, you could say, hey, I wish I'd had 9 players just like you on my team. We're talking baseball. And then, one of the best compliments that a player could give a coach is, I wish, I could play for him if I didn't play for him. That's kind of what I'm saying. I never played for Mike Martin Sr., but it would have been an honor to be able to play for him. But also hearing some of the former players talk about the impact that he had on their lives, and just the countless lessons you learned, becoming a man, becoming a better player. Man, shout out to Mike Martin Sr., man. Condolences to the family, prayers. I know it's a tough time for the family, and hopefully they'll find strength in his legacy and everything that he stood for and what he lived for. But just wanted to give a shout out, and again, just offer my respects to an absolute legend in the game. So tip the cat and Mike Martin Sr. But yeah, man. So we're gonna get into some analysis here, courtesy of Brett Nevitt. Brett has an FSU baseball podcast along with Aria Masudi called Sunday Goals. Those guys do a pretty good job of covering FSU baseball and kind of giving you the day to day and what's going on roster, who's added to the roster, all that good stuff. Brett's there in Tally. I've never met him, but I know he does good work. And he has been kind enough to post some footage of practice on X here over the last week or so. And so saw some interesting things that I kind of wanted to go over. This is one of the reasons why I moved over to YouTube away from just straight up, regular podcasts I was doing. Let me share the screen here. When you look at what FSU had last year, they lacked a lot of things. They were very young on offense. They lacked power. They didn't get on base well. They cut down on their strikeouts from the year previously, but still didn't do a great job of getting on base as much as you need to score a lot of runs. They failed to get runners in when they had them in scoring position. But it is as much as they lacked, they still probably could have won several more games had they had better pitching. Obviously, Wyatt Correll, went down for the season, within like the first couple weeks with an injury. And then you had Jackson Ballmaster and Connor Whitaker there. You just didn't have any depth on the mound. And your defense is something I've been pointing out for years. Defensively, FSU still wasn't great at all. I mean, I don't even know if they were average. They were pretty bad. So when you don't have good pitching, when you don't score a ton of runs consistently, and you don't play great defense, you kind of get what you get. And it's not a knock on Link. Link, I've wrote about this. It's similar. He inherited the situation. Not quite as bad as Mike Norvell did because he didn't have to deal with COVID and all that, but there was a lot of holes on the roster from last season, and Lynx did a real good job in the portal and recruiting to plug some of those holes, and so I expect FSU should be better this season. They should have more power. They added power from the transfer portal. They added some arms for added depth from the on the mound, and I think they got more athletic in the field. So that should help as far as defenses go. But this time of year, usually your pitching's probably going to be ahead of the hitting because you just haven't seen a ton of live pitching. You don't have just that day-to-day routine of seeing live pitching and getting that timing down. So I know Brett mentioned here that early on the pitchers had the upper hand in one of these practices, and then the hitters made some adjustments, and did well there. So we're going to go through some of these and just kind of look at just different things. Here he's highlighting Cam Leiter, who is a big time pickup from the transfer portal. Let me mute this so this does not burst your eardrum. Leiter throws gas. So let's just look at this and see what happens. And I don't want the sound on. Okay. So he blew that by him. Fastball. All right. So that was a 2-strike count. It looked like. I mean, he walked off, so obviously he struck out. But these are the little things I want you to pay attention to. So he caught the ball right here. It's almost the middle of the plate. With 2 strikes, I don't know what the count was. It could have been a full count. Whatever. I don't know. But if you have the upper hand in a count, if you're up 1-2 in a count, 2-2 in a count, 0-2 in a count, you don't want to throw the pitch right here. All right, that is, Cam Smith just got caught maybe guessing there. He missed his spot terribly. Look, the catcher set up over here. Watch, he's going to catch the ball over here. He misses his spot, 8 inches. See that? Little things like that in baseball, you pay for it. All right. So this is early in the season. We're not going to nitpick too much, but those are things whenever they're playing in the games that you got to pay attention to if you're a student of the game. And if you're Cam Smith, you can't watch that pitch with 2 strikes. All right. So here, that's right down the middle. Again, I don't know exactly what the counts are here, but the most important pitch in baseball is strike 1. If you're a pitcher, if you can get ahead in the count, that automatically decreases the chances that hitter's going to get a hit, if you're up there knowing what you're doing. So you got a head there. Nice backdoor slider. Heat up and away. All right. So I want to go back and look at this pitch for this is Cam Smith, I think it is again. So this is a pitch away. What I want you to pay attention to is Cam's front shoulder and his hands right here. All right. So this pitch is already sliding. His shoulder's already flying out. He has no shot whatsoever to hit this. If you got to pick up this pitch up here, you got to pick up the spin on it up here and identify it as a slider or something that's going to break away from you. And you got to keep your hands back. You can see his hands are already coming forward. He doesn't have good balance here. His front leg isn't stiff. He's completely fooled. So also, if you know anything about baseball, right, you spend a ton of time hitting on a tee, right? So think about this, and this is very simple. If your swing, whenever you're swinging in a pitch, doesn't look like it does when you swing on the tee, why are you swinging at the pitch? It's a bad pitch, usually, right? So you just looked at all his mechanics here, and it was just terrible. Yeah, got to keep that shoulder in. You got to keep that shoulder. You got to take that shoulder to the ball, not away from the ball. Woo, that was nasty. Jaime. He throws it by Jaime there. That's nasty. High heat. Got to swing at strikes, guys. Woo! Okay, that's the first one. Okay. So that's Cam Leiter. Going to be a good pickup for the Noles. Probably going to be your Friday starter, I would think. All right, let me mute this. Right down the middle. Can't miss that, baby. That looked like a changeup. Double play ball. Got to swing at strikes. The instant replay. All right, so guys are not swinging at strikes early in the preseason here. So that was Ben Barrett there. And all right, we're going to go to Connor Whitaker here. Connor Whitaker is a guy that they had in the bullpen to start out last season who I thought should have been the Sunday starter. They eventually moved him to that role, and it paid off dividends because he's someone that can eat up innings. And I expect that, to be the same this year. Connor's got kind of a Greg Maddux approach. If you look, it's all about, he's 90, 91, 92, some movement, and it's all about location with him. Here, he's got James Tibbs, and he paints the inside corner right here. That's nice. For strike 3, that is, too. All right, let's go back. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to that swing. Same thing. Pitch away, you got to let it get deep. See that shoulder? See the shoulders coming out. The hands are away from the body because he's out in front. So he needs to let this ball get here and then make contact. If he makes contact here, it's going to be a weak ground ball to shortstop or third base. Change up. Change up. The changeup is the most difficult pitch to hit, bar none. I mean, it looks like a fastball, but it's 10, 12 miles per hour slower. You have no shot if a guy can consistently throw it for a strike. That's why Greg Maddux was so good. See, that's a nice movement. Ooh, why are you swinging at that? That swing looks nothing like it would if you were hitting off a tee. And so whenever look at that. I mean, look at the follow through and the finish on this. That is ugly. I mean, ugly. Yeah, it's almost like he was just trying to defend himself. Again, front shoulder's pulling out. So this is the day that Brett says the hitters may, they put the bat on the barrel, so to speak. And so we're going to look at some differences here. This is Connor Whitaker pitching, I think. All right. This is a nice swing. Now, this pitch is middle way a little bit. Watch this front shoulder. Watch his front shoulder. Watch his hands. All right. See how he lets it get a little bit deeper? His shoulder doesn't fly out quite as bad. He still hooks it a little bit. But that's a good knock. Again. Look at that. That's beautiful. See how deep the ball is, and the barrel is still where it is right here. He doesn't try to pull it. He's right up the middle. Now, the difference in this pitch was it was middle in. All right, see where that is? This middle in. So when it's middle in, you can fly the shoulder out. You can clear the shoulder to get your hands through, get the barrel on the ball. Oh, this is, I remember watching this and I was like, ooh, this is nice. So lefty on lefty. Watch the shoulder, watch the front shoulder, watch the location of this pitch. It's going to be an outer half. Front shoulder's closed, boom, opens up, drives into the gap. That's beautiful. Here we got a side. Let's watch it here. Not bad. Still try to pull a little bit, I think. It's hard to see where the location is. I still think he probably tries to pull this pitch a little bit. instead of waiting on it a little bit longer. Jaime ropes one. So whenever you're hitting, we talk about hitting off a tee, right? Right here. This is perfection. This is perfection. You have, so when I was in college, our coach would call this, you would have a stiff front leg. This right here would look like a backwards L, and then you would have this foot pivot on the ball. Basically, he would call it squishing the bug. You would kind of rotate your foot like you were squishing a bug on the ground underneath your foot. Ball, he's basically watching the ball hit the bat here. I mean, this is textbook. You see, he hits a lot of rope. Here, Jackson West. Look at that. Same deal. So his front leg is stiff. Backwards L. Foot's rotated. He's going to watch the ball hit the bat pretty much. Doesn't try to pull it. That's McGuire Holbrook. His bat stays in the zone like forever. When I say stays in the zone, I mean it enters. Ooh, you can see the recoil on that bat. That's crazy. Uh-oh. But yeah, so here, look. So his bat is getting ready to enter the zone. That's just like a very level swing. But again, you see stiff front leg, backwards L, squish the bug. And a lot of times my coach would say you would want your belly button to take a picture of the pitcher on the mound as you rotate through. Diamez was injured a lot last year, but when he was in the lineup as a freshman, he did his thing. If he can stay healthy at the top of the lineup, that'll be a big plus for the Noles offensively. Here, look at that. Boom. Stiff front leg, backwards L, squish the bug. If you make good solid swings like that, man, more times than not, you're going to make good contact if your timing's on. Good swing there. All right. All right, so lefty on lefty here. Swinging at balls. Ooh, that was nice. That has some nice little run on it. Ooh, I like that. Let's watch in real time again. That's nice. Swinging at balls, though. The pitch looks high. All right. This first pitch is a wicker slider. This is Jaime. Let's go that back. So Jaime on the pitch earlier, it was perfect textbook. Watch his shoulder right here. Watch the left shoulder. See that? You see his shoulder pulling out already. See his hands? See his hands are away from his body? You should have the same swing on that outside pitch as you would if it was right down the middle. You just gotta wait on it. But because he doesn't wait on it, he has to take his hands away from his body and try to hook the pitch. But this slider breaks so far away, he has no shot at it. So it's a ball either way. Again, here, I'm not sure who this is hitting, but see that shoulder? Watch his shoulder right here. See that? Right there. You just got to wait. You got to wait. It's very difficult to do. It's something I struggled with in college as a freshman. But, once you just gain confidence and trust in your hands, then you can kind of go ahead and make that adjustment. It was a nice pitch. That was nice. Hit a good spot right there. Pitch is probably outside a couple inches, but he hits the spot, gets the call. Ooh, that looks like a changeup. That was nasty. Whenever you see a guy usually go down to one knee like that, it's usually something off speed, or it could have been a splitter. I'm not sure exactly what this guy throws, but that was. Oh, he was fooled badly. High heat. Jaime. Again, Jaime gets into these stretches sometimes. Well, that's the first pitch. So we already showed that one. Okay. Ooh, nice spot. Outside a little bit, but he hit his spot. Hit his spot. Ooh. All right, Mr. Freshman Hudson Rowan. I think that's everything. So this is freshman James Henderson Jr. hitting a bomb off Cam Leiter. And it was a no doubter. Watch Leiter's reaction. Watch Leiter's reaction. I've been there, my boy. Woo-wee. And so even here, well, let's do this. I'm gonna put the sound on so you guys can hear this one leave the yard. When you hear that, ooh, well, you already know it was a bomb. And this pitch is away, and Henderson kind of muscles this one out because he opens up his hips and his shoulder on this one too. He kind of just throws a bat head at it. So he's got some pop in his bat. Man. So this is from earlier Thursday. Well, I know that was Hill right there. You got the shadow right on the mound. As a hitter, I know that was tough. Ooh, it's a nice little slider. Backdoored him. Ooh, buckled his knees. Whew. Man, you got to hit that, baby. High heat. No shot. No shot at that. Slider away. I don't know what the count was, but if you see, watch his butt. Watch his butt here. No pause. Then watch this. See his hands? His hands are way out here. Way out here. No shot. No shot. You got to keep your hands back. Take this left shoulder towards the pitch and drive it backside. Just be patient. If he makes contact, it's a weak ground ball to third or shortstop. And these are all young arms, it looks like. That last guy was a freshman. This guy's a freshman. So, I mean, they got some arms. They're just young. Ooh, nice little slider. Hit his spot with a fastball. Lays off the high heat. Ooh. Got to swing at pit balls, man. Swinging at balls. Got to swing at strikes. All right, so that's what they've been looking like, I should say. Excuse me. In the first few practices, they open up here in a 2 weeks or so, I think it is, and I think FSU is going to have a bit more power this season. You got Tibbs is going to hit double digits. Jaime's probably going to inch over double digits this year. Cam Smith hit for double digits as a freshman last year. FSU brought in at least 2 transfers that hit for double-digit home runs last year. So they should have more power. I think you'll see Diamez Ross there at the leadoff, be able to get on base and generate some issues for opposing teams. You had a bunch of young guys last year, so they'll have another year under their belt of experience, and so I expect those guys to take off and reach another level. So then pitching wise, it's all about getting ahead in the count and not issuing free walks, freebies, and then hopefully your defense can pick it up and not make quite as many errors as they have in the past few years. I think FSU is going to have better starting pitching. I think the questions are probably going to be on the back end as far as middle and closing. The late innings there. FSU had issues throughout last year. They had a lead against Florida in all 3 games. Late into those games too, and just couldn't hold on. But then you saw the difference with Florida. Once they got a lead late in the game, they had just straight flamethrowers. They can bring in there and just mow FSU hitters down. I'm optimistic about this year. I think they're going to be quite a bit better than they were this past year. I'm really excited to see how Link's going to put this team together. And like I said, got a lot of live arms, just some youth that you don't know quite to expect from, what to expect. But then you have some proven guys too, who I think are going to take that next step and eat up a lot of innings for you. So, but yeah, so that's going to be the baseball preview. I'll probably look to try to do softball here soon since they start playing next week. And excited about that team also. But yeah, so if you're a baseball fan, like I said, make sure you subscribe, like, and get this to more baseball fans out there. There's not many of us covering baseball like this. Like I said, Brett and those guys do a good job as far as just giving you the generalities of what's happening with the team. I think I'm the only one really doing breakdowns of footage and talking about the ins and outs of the game like that. So would appreciate your support, and we'll look to get another video out to you guys real soon. Until next time, go Noles.